The next one, numericals based on electrostatic potential and capacitance. In that, the first question, two charges 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb and minus 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb are located 16 centimeter apart. At what points on the line joining the two charges? Question, at what points on the line joining the two charges is the electric potential 0? Take the potential at infinity to be 0. Two charges they are given. Suppose if we have taken the 2 points A and B, the point A in which we are placed by the charge is known as 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb. The one more charge will be, the one more point that is taken as B. The point B in which we are placed by the charge is known as minus 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb are located 16 centimeter apart. The point A and B in which we are placed by the two charges, what is that charges? 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb and minus 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb. And these two charges are separated by the distance. These two charges are separated by the distance of 0.16 meter apart. These two charges are separated by the distance of 0.16 meter apart. The reason is that they are given the condition 16 centimeter, that you have to convert in terms of meter. 16 divided by 100, that will be 0.16 meter. Is it clear? Now the question, at what points on the line joining the two charges the electric potential is 0? Suppose if you have taken one point, that point is expressed by P, the point P in which the electric potential is 0. The condition we have taken, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ತಿರುವಂತ condition potential ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ 0 ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, the potential is at the point P is 0. Is it clear? Now the distance from the first charge or from the first point that is known to be A, the distance from the point A to P is expressed by X. From the charge Q1 to the point P, and that distance is expressed by X, the point P in which we are assuming that the electric potential V is equal to 0. ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ, at what points ಎಲ್ಲಿ electric potential 0 ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, the point P in which we are taken by the potential is equal to 0. Therefore at the point P in which the potential is equal to 0, the distance from the first charge, which means we are placed at the point, is known as A. The distance is expressed by X in which the potential is 0. That distance is an unknown, that you have to calculate. Our distance ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. Therefore what is the rest of the distance? The total distance from A to B ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು 0.16 ಆದರೆ meters ಆದರೆ, the distance from A to P is expressed by X ಆದರೆ, what about the remaining distance from the point B to the point P, or the charge from the charge minus 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb to the point P, that is expressed by 0.16 minus times of X. Is it clear? ಅಲ್ವಾ? ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ 0.16 ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ minus of x times of the charge, distance. Therefore in general the electric potential relation, what is the relation? V is equal to, we are done by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 by r1 plus q2 by r2. ಸರಿಯಾ? ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬರೀಬಹುದಾ? ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ 5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ದ ಟೂ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್ ಇನ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ನ ಜನರಲ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೆದಿದೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by r is the general expression. Based on that equation, electric potential V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by r. Based on this equation, we have written the equation for the two charges. V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 by r1 plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q2 by r2. In that 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is common, that are taken as an outside. ಸರಿಯಾ? ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೆದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಎರಡು ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವುದಾಗಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇಟ್ಟು ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೇನೆ. Therefore at what point the electric potential is equal to 0? At the point P in which, what about the potential is equal to 0? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ V ನ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನನ್ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? 0 ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. That is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught times of q1 divided by r1 plus q2 divided by r2. ಯಾಕೆ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ? at the point P in which the potential is equal to 0. ಅವರೇ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, at what points on the line joining the two charges the electric potential is 0? We are assumed that the point is known to be P. The point P in which the potential is 0, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ V ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. what is the value of V? V is equal to 0 by cross multiplying the equation. ಈ 4 pi epsilon naught ಅನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ cross multiply ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಏನಾಯಿತು 0 into 4 pi epsilon naught get cancelled out. Therefore the equation left 0 is equal to Q1 R1 plus Q2 R2. ಇದೇ equation ಅನ್ನು ಹೀಗೆ ಬರಿಬಹುದು ನೋಡಿ, Q1 divided by R1 is equal to minus of Q2 divided by R2. Is it clear? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಯಾಕೆ equation ಅನ್ನು ಬರೆದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆಯಾ? V is equal to 0, 4 pi epsilon naught that you have to cross multiplied over here 0 ಆಯಿತು. ಆದರೆ 0 is equal to ಈ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗಿದೆ, Q1 by R1 plus Q2 by R2 plus Q2 by R2 ಅನ್ನು equation ಆಚೆಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ minus Q2 divided by R2. Now we are knowing the value of Q1. What is the value of Q1 is equal to, the value of Q1 will be 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb divided by, what is the value of R1? R1 is the distance. R1 is the distance from the point A to the point P. Therefore R1 ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು it is the distance from the charge Q1 to the electric potential that becomes 0. That point is known as P. ಸರಿಯಾ? ಹಾಗಾದರೆ R1 ನ ಪ್ಲೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಏನು ಬರೀಬೇಕು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ that is expressed by x itself is equal to minus is as usual. What is the value of Q2 is equal to, the value of Q2 will be minus 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb. ಸರಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ, divided by, what is the value of R2 is equal to, the distance from the charge Q1 to the point P is expressed by R1, that is equal to x. The total distance from the two charge carrier will be 0.16 meter. Therefore the value of distance R2 is equal to what? The value of R2 is equal to 0.16 minus of x. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ R2 ನ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ R2 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ 0.16 minus of x. Is it clear? Now the term 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 8, minus of minus will be plus, 10 raised to the power minus 8, 10 raised to the power minus 8 gets cancelled out. Equation ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನಾಯಿತು 5 into, ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಇದೇ equation ಅನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀತೇನೆ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ 5 into 0.16 times of minus of x. ಬರಿಬೋದು ಹೇಗೆ 5 into 0.16 times of minus of x ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ is equal to, by cross multiplying the equation minus of minus will be plus, minus of minus will be plus. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಟರ್ಮ್ ಉಳಿದಿದೆ 3 ಉಳಿದಿದೆ, ಯಾವುದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ x ನ ಜೊತೆಗೆ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಏನಾಯಿತು ಕೇಳಿದರೆ that will be 3x. therefore that is equal to 5 into 0.16 will be, what is the value of 5 into 0.16 will be, that will be 0.8. Is it clear? The 0.16 into 5 will be 0.8. 6 into 5 is 80, decimal point ಇಂದಾಗಿ 0.8 ಆಯಿತು. 5 into minus 5x. 5 into minus x, that will be minus 5x is equal to 3x. Is equal to 3x. Now therefore minus 5x ಅನ್ನು ಆಚೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋದರೆ equation ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀಬಹುದು 8x is equal to 0.8. therefore the value of x is equal to 0.1 meter is the answer. Therefore the electric potential becomes 0 at the point or at the distance of 0.1 meter. Simple calculation ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. just 5 10 raised to the power minus 8 ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, equation ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. 5 times of 0.16 minus of x, x times of 3, that is 3x. therefore 5 into 0.16 will be 0.8, minus of 5 into minus x will be minus 5x is equal to 3x. therefore minus 5x that are bring to the right side ಏನಾಯಿತು 8x ಆಯಿತು. therefore 8x is equal to 0.8. therefore about x is equal to 0.1 meter. therefore at what point the electric potential becomes 0? At the distance of 0.1 meter. Very important 5 mark board question, very important one, numerical NCERT first question. Is it clear? Very important one, simple one, ತುಂಬ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ನ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆಯಿತು. The one more important question for the board exam, this is a repeated question. The second one, the very important one, that is based on energy stored in a capacitor. See here, a 600 picofarad capacitor is connected by 200 volt supply. A 600 picofarad capacitor is charged by 200 volt supply, which means that capacitor is begins to charge by the applied potential of 200 volt. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಕಂಡೀಷನನ್ನು ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ ನಾನು. What is the question they are given? A 600 picofarad, 1 picofarad is equal to 10 raised to the power minus 12. What is the value of 1 picofarad? The value of 1 picofarad is equal to 10 raised to the power minus 12. Therefore a 600 picofarad capacitor is charged by 200 volt supply. Next, it is then disconnected from the supply It is then disconnected from the supply and is connected to another uncharged 600 picofarad capacitors. See here how much electrostatic energy is lost in this process. Very important 5 mark board question, very important one. The most time or the maximum time repeated question. See here for the first question, ಇದರ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬರಿತೇನೆ. A 600 picofarad capacitor is charged by a 200 volt supply, which means they are given the condition, the value of C1. In the given question, they are given the value of C1 and C2. Capacitance of capacitor, that is equal to, what is the value? That will be constant 600 picofarad. That will be constant, what is the value? 600 picofarad. That is equal to 600 into 10 raised to the power minus 12. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂತು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ pico is equal to 10 raised to the power minus 12. ಇದನ್ನು ಹೀಗೆ ಬರಿಬಹುದಾ? 600 into 10 raised to the power minus 12 farad ಅನ್ನು ಹೀಗೆ ಸಹ ಬರಿಬಹುದಾ? That will be 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 10. Because of these two zeros, 10 raised to the power plus 2 ಆಯಿತು. Plus 2 minus 12 will be 10 raised to the power 10 ಆಯಿತು. Therefore 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 10 farad. The value of C1, C2 is equal to. Then the initial condition they are given. The value of C1 is connected by or charged by 200 volt supply. That is the reason why the capacitor is begins to charge. That charge is expressed by a charge ಅನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ Q1 is equal to C1 times of V. Value of C1 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರಾ? Yes, ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. What is the value of C1 is equal to 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 10. The value of potential is given. V na value ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರಾ? V is nothing but a potential difference. What is the potential difference? 200 volt. Either substitute the values of C1. What is the value of C1? 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 10 into the potential will be 200. Therefore 6 into 2 12. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 zeros ಇದೆ. ಪುನಃ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 10 raised to the power minus 10 plus 2. Therefore the answer will be, see here, the answer will be 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 8. The charge unit will be coulomb, which means the capacitance of capacitor C1, that will be 600 picofarad, begins to charge, and that charge will be Q1. What is that value is equal to? Which means the capacitance of capacitor C1 will be charged. What about that charge is equal to? Q1 is equal to 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ? ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಶನ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ನ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತದ್ದು. As the capacitor is begins to charge means just first sentence ಗೆ conclusion ಅನ್ನು ಬರಿತಾ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. As the capacitor is begins to charge means there is an energy stored in the capacitor. In general, the energy stored in the capacitor U1 is equal to the general equation half CV square. Last class ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. Half C1 V square. Energy stored on the capacitor U1 is equal to half C1 V square. That is equal to half into, what is the value of C1? The value of a C1 will be capacitance. What is the value of C1? 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 10. What is the value of C1? 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 10 into the value of a potential will be 200 square. 200 square. What is the value of 200 square? The value of 200 square will be 40,000. It's not 400. ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ 200 square will be 400 ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೀರಿ. It's not 400. 200 square will be 200 into 200, that will be 40,000. Therefore the simplification U1 is equal to half is as usual. Value of C1 ಅನ್ನು ಹಾಗೆ ಬರೀತೇನೆ, 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 10 ಹಾಗೆ ಬರೀತೇನೆ, into 200 square will be 40,000 ಅನ್ನು ಹೀಗೆ ಬರೀತೇನೆ, 4 into 10 raised to the power 4. Is it clear? ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರ್ದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆಯಾ? 200 into 200, that will be 40,000. That is expressed by 4 into 10 raised to the power 4. 40,000 ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹೀಗೆ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. Now 2 ones are 2 threes are 2 ones are 2 threes are 3 into 4 12. Therefore U1 is equal to, therefore U1 is equal to 3 into 4 will be 12. Therefore 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 10 plus 4, that will be 10 into 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 6. The energy unit will be joule. This is the answer for the first sentence they are given. ಇದೆರಡು ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ, the value of Q1 ನೋಡಿ, the value of Q1 as well as the value of the energy U1 is because of the first sentence. ಇದರ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಏನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, a 600 picofarad capacitor, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬರೀತೇನೆ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. A 600 picofarad capacitor is connected by V is equal to 200 volt, which means that the capacitor is begins to charge, which means that the capacitor is begins to charge, thus it gains the energy. Yes, what is that charge will be? 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb. What is that energy will be? That energy will be 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joules. Is it clear? Now see the sentence. It is then disconnected from the supply. It is then disconnected from the supply and is connected to another uncharged 600 picofarad capacitor. Very important in order to understand the sentence. ನೋಡಿ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೆನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಸಪ್ಲೈ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಇದೇ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ಸ್ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇದೇ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ಸ್ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೆನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಅನದರ್ ಅನ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ 600 picofarad capacitors. ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ರಿಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಆರ್ ನ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ. ನಾವು ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹದ್ದು ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಏನಲ್ಲ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹದ್ದು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb with the energy 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 coulomb, joule ಇರುವಂಥ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು, ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ C1 ಏನಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು C1 is connected to the another uncharged capacitor C2. The capacitance C1 is connected to another uncharged capacitance of capacitor C2, which means that initially the capacitance C2 will be an uncharged. As the charged capacitor C1 is connected to C2, the capacitor begins to charge. Initially C2 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ C1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇದೆ, ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಇದೆ. C1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮತ್ತು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಸಹ ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಆ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಮತ್ತು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇರುವಂಥ C1 ಅನ್ನು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ? ಅನ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ C2. Is it clear? That is the reason why the charges are begins to flow from higher potential to lower potential. As the capacitance C2 is an uncharged, means C1 is having the charge. C1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇದೆ, ಆ C1 ತನ್ನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಡ್ತದೆ. ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. The charges are flowing from higher potential to the lower potential. That is the reason why the capacitor C2 is also begins to charge. Therefore, that is expressed by Q2 is equal to, ನೋಡಿ, Q2. Now it is the charge on the capacitor C2 is equal to, we are written by Q1 divided by 2. ಯಾಕೆ Q1 divided by 2 ಅಂತ ಬರೆದಿರ್ಬೋದು? ಯಾಕೆ Q1 divided by 2 ಅಂತ ಬರೆದಿರ್ಬೋದು? C2 is an uncharged. C2 is an uncharged. It is connected by the charged capacitor C1. That is the reason why the capacitor is begins to charge. Thus, the capacitor C2 acquires the charge. The reason is that charges are flowing from higher potential to a lower potential, and the higher potential become equal. ತನ್ನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಚಾರ್ಜನ್ನು ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ C1 ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು C2ಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಡ್ತದೆ. That is the reason why Q2 is equal to Q1 by 2. As what is the value of Q1 is equal to 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb divided by 2. That will be 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb. The very important one. Yes, what is the charge on Q1 now? ಯಾವಾಗ C1 ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು C2ಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆನ್ C1 now? The C1 is also same, 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb. Since the charges are flowing from higher potential to the lower potential till their potential become equal, therefore the very important term V2 is equal to, we are written by V divided by 2, or V dash is equal to V divided by 2. Yes, what is the value of V they are given? 200 volt. According to the basic concept of the charges, the charge given to the conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference. Charge ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಹಾಫ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು? ಹಾಫ್ ಆಫ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. Q1 ಇಂದ Q2ಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು Q/2 ಅಂತ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀರಿ, Q1/2 ಅಂತ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಆದರೆ ನೀವು Q1 ನ Q/2 ಆಗಿ ಬರೆದರೆ, what about the potential is also shared. Since the very important reason, both the capacitors is having the same capacitance. ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಯಾವಾಗ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಬಬಿಲಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಪೋರ್ಷನಾಲಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ, ಬೋತ್ ದ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್, ಸೇಮ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟೆನ್ಸ್, ಬೋತ್ ದ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ, ದೆನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈಸ್. ಇದನ್ನು ನೀವು Q2 ಅನ್ನು Q1/2 ಬರಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಅಥವಾ V dash ಅನ್ನು V/2 ಬರಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ದ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬೋತ್ ದ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್. ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ಇದನ್ನು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಫ್ ದ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್, ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಆದರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈಡ್. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ರಾಂಗ್ ಅದು, ಸರಿಯಾ? ಹಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, C1 ವಿಚ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ದ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, C1 ತನ್ನ ಚಾರ್ಜನ್ನು C2ಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ದರ್ಫೋರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆನ್ ಈಚ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್? Q2 equal to Q1, what is that charge is equal to 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 coulomb. V dash is equal to V/2. Their potential is also become half. Therefore, what is the value of V dash is equal to now? Is equal to 100 volt. Since the value of V is equal to 200, now the energy stored on the capacitor C2 Can I express that is as U2? The energy stored on the capacitor, that will be U2. Therefore, that is expressed by half C2, that will be V dash square. Energy stored on the second capacitor U2 is equal to half C2 V dash square. Yes, that is equal to half is as usual. As what is the value of C2 is equal to, the value of C1 is equal to C2. Since both the capacitors is having the same capacitance, 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 10 into the very important term V dash square. It's not the value of V now. ಈಗ ನೀವು ಪುನಃ 200 ವೋಲ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Now the value of V dash square, the value of V dash is nothing but V divided by 2. Therefore, what is the value of V dash will be 100 whole square. Therefore, what is the value of 100 whole square is equal to 100 whole square will be 10,000. Therefore, U2 is equal to half into 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 10. 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 10 into 100 square will be 100 into 100. It's not 1000, 10,000. Hadre ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ 1 into 10 raised to the power plus 4. Simplification. Therefore, that is equal to 2 ones are 2 threes are 3 into 1. 3, that is equal to the energy stored on the capacitor 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joules. As what is the energy stored on the capacitor C2? The energy stored on the capacitor C2 will be 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule. Is it clear? The energy stored on the capacitor C2 will be 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule. Now the question, what is the energy stored on the capacitor C1? That is also same. Since both the capacitor is having the same capacitance, that is the reason why the energy stored on the both the capacitor is now same. Therefore, the total energy on both the capacitor, the energy on the capacitor C2 will be 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 6. The energy on the capacitor C1 is also same. The C1 the capacitance is same ಆಗಬೇಕು. Therefore, what is the value? 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 plus 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 6. The answer will be 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule is because of the both the capacitor now. Is it clear? ಯಾವಾಗ ನೀವು C1 ಅನ್ನು C2 ಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ with the charge and energy which shares the equal amount of charge carrier as well as the potential, because of that the energy stored on the both the capacitor will be same, the potential is stored on the both the capacitor is same, the charge stored on the both the capacitor is same. Based on that, the total energy of the both the capacitor now 6 into 10 raised to the power, the energy stored on the both the capacitor now 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule. Therefore, the energy lost in this process, energy lost in this process. As what is the initial energy that is stored on the first capacitor C1, 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule. ಅಲ್ವಾ? C2 ಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಮೊದಲು C1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಇತ್ತು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule ನ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಯಾವಾಗ ಇದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಅನ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ C2 ಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, that energy will be 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule. There is a loss of energy. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡುವಾಗಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡುವಾಗಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. Therefore, what about that lost energy will be? Therefore, energy lost will be 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 minus 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule. Therefore, the energy lost will be 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule is the answer. Very important 5-mark question. The energy lost in this process, that will be 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joules. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ. 12 ನ ಹಾಫ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ U1 is equal to 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule. Both the capacitors having the same capacitance. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಬೈ 2 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಸಹ ನಿಮಗೆ ಫೈನಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ? ರೀಸನ್ ಏನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಇದೆ, ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಗೆ. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು U1 is equal to 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule divided by 2 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule ಅಂತ ಬರೆದಿಟ್ರೆ ಬರೀ 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. Actual concept, as the energy stored on the first capacitor will be 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule. Both the capacitor is having the same capacitance. That is the reason why the charge will be shared. The potential is also equally shared. Based on that, the energy is also shared. Therefore, because of that, the total energy of both the capacitor will be 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 plus 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 6. That will be 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 6. What is the initial energy? 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 6. Therefore, energy loss will be 12 into 10 raised to the power 6 minus 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule, that is equal to 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 joule is the answer. Is it clear? Very important 5-mark board question. The maximum time repeated questions, the second one. Maximum time repeat ಆದಂಥ questions, mid term ಇರ್ಬೋದು, preparatory ಇರ್ಬೋದು, in one final exam ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಹ. Yes.